1 year ago, I decided that I was going to start a YouTube channel and actually take YouTube a bit more seriously in terms of the way I created content and the way I released content. I've covered everything from, the music, from starting a business, to the places I hang out, to wrestling, to all the projects and everything that I feel kind of encompass not only the musical side of me, but the real life side, the human side, the stuff that you do outside of your job that influences who you are. And so this episode, I want to share a few of the things that I have been told about YouTube, some of the things that I have learned from creators like Nick Nimmin, Casey Neistat, Roberto Blake, people like that, and the things that I have learned that have or have not actually worked. So this is 1 year, that is 52 consecutive episodes here that we have done every Sunday 8 o'clock release. This is what I have learned from 1 year on YouTube. So have you ever seen a video from someone that you really liked on YouTube and you're like, I'm gonna go check out their channel, I want more of this person, whatever it is they're doing, I like it. And you go to their channel just to find out they've got 6 videos in the past year and there's nothing really to follow. That is I feel one of the biggest pitfalls people fall into is they want to become a YouTuber, they want to create videos on YouTube, but they don't have a structure to it. Without this structure, you end up like, oh, I'll just throw in some videos from my band whenever we have them, but we only do 1 show a month, so we'll put something out there once a month. Hopefully people will like it. It just does not work that way. You gotta have a plan, you gotta have a good description, you gotta have a flow to what you're doing. It can't just be random if you want it to grow. Now it can totally be random if that's what you just want, is random stuff. If that's your thing, then go for it. But if you want to build a fan base, build your channel, build an interactive audience, you gotta have a plan. Step 2, find your resources. Research videos and YouTubers that you like. See what they do and what works and what doesn't work. Look for things like, I've used the TubeBuddy app, which really helps you kind of track things like views and watch time minutes and things like that, which also the YouTube Creator Studio does for you. But TubeBuddy just kind of breaks it down a little more, makes it a little bit easier to do bite by bite. Like, what's that whole thing about how do you eat an elephant 1 bite at a time? For my vegan friends, a giant block of tofu perhaps. YouTube in your YouTube career is the elephant. You can't just 1 bite be done with it. Break it down into little pieces, make it a little bit easier for you. Third thing that'll help, create a content release strategy. Plan, if you can, plan a few weeks ahead. I personally am always falling into that pitfall of creating things. Right now, I'm doing this video the day before I plan on releasing it because it's tough without a written schedule sometimes, because you're like, oh, well, I can get a little bit later, I'll get a little bit later, and by the time later has arrived, that's actually too much time has passed, and it's become a thing that was pushed to the back of your mind. So you have to kind of treat it the same way you treat whatever other obligations you have in life. Your workout routine, your job, the family stuff that you do. When you kind of have this plan, it makes it go a lot smoother. Fourth thing that I have learned since starting YouTube is ads are very tricky. So using things like Google Ads, which is what YouTube uses now in order to promote your video, you have to follow very specific guidelines that make it hard if you're doing something like if you have a vlog to where you say things that are not necessarily monetizable. This means that it's going to be a lot harder for you to create an ad, it's going to be a lot harder for you to get monetized, it's going to be more difficult to grow the channel. Because no matter how good the content, if no one ever sees it, it doesn't matter. Your channel can't grow without an audience. Fifth thing, now this is not necessarily something you have to have, but the more you have, the easier it'll be. So having video editing skills, whether it be Final Cut, Premiere, Magic, Sony Vegas, whatever it is you have, the more you know about video editing, the process, and how to do it, the easier it's going to be on you. It won't take as long to put out a video. And sure, you can also go to, I guess this would be a little side note, is you could, if you have money for it, you can pay people on Fiverr and Upwork are 2 online freelance sources where you can have people that will do your thumbnails for you, do your Photoshop editing, do your video edits, and it's usually not too expensive. You can really talk to people, kind of feel it out that way. But the more skills you have, the better. So your video skills, your Photoshop skills, learn how to use, even if it's just the basic stuff, learning how to use Photoshop and learning how to use Lightroom. those are ones that will really help you out, especially in terms of creating those high quality thumbnails and creating your banners and all of your social posts. Having that will be a big help. It's also a bonus if you write music or know how to. Now, granted, I will say that the YouTube Academy has a lot of royalty-free, ready to use, like license-free music that YouTube's already taken care of for you, and you can put into your vlogs or put into your videos, whatever it is you're doing in there. It goes straight into it and you're good to go. And while that is a very cool resource to have, I find it to be more interesting if you can create something original, even better, because then it's also like you have this sub product that you're offering. At the end of everything, it's like, yeah, you have this video, you have these cooking videos, these philosophy, theology videos, whatever it is you're doing, and then you also have the music afterwards. So it's kind of cool having that extra, but again, all of this stuff does take time, so pick your battles. If you decide that this is the year, this is your year, you want to do it, you're gonna make a YouTube video, you got a theme in mind, or you just got some new gear you want to try out, and you're like, I'm gonna do it. So the very first thing that anyone's ever gonna tell you is, of course, just create the channel. Create a channel with the intent to succeed. Don't create one just for the sake of creating it. Create it with intent. Set your goals and what you want to do. So when you create a channel, you got to think about everything from what does your brand look like? What is your channel icon? You know, what are the colors that you're using? What's the picture you're going to use? When you have to create a banner, what's the banner look like? What draws you in when you see other people's banners? What do you want the new viewer to know right off the bat? If they don't even watch a video, all they do is they see your page, your channel. What do you want to convey to them? And with that, so that means, you know, filling out your about section, getting your hashtags right, getting the photos that you want, getting an outside perspective. Now that's not necessarily something that these groups and everything have been saying, is that get outside perspective, but it is something I've learned, that when you're creating your channel, the things that you see or that you think you see coming out of it are not necessarily what your audience and your viewers are gonna see. So an outside perspective, and stay open to it. Stay open to it. I know criticism sucks, but it's also the internet. So no matter what, it's gonna be there. Might as well be from people that you trust and who can help you grow as a YouTuber, as an individual, as an entertainer, whatever it is you're doing with it. Having that outside perspective, having someone that can look at it that isn't as close to it as you are, helps a lot. Just create your channel. You know you want to do it, you've been thinking about doing it, just jump in, why not? The second thing that I have seen stressed from so many people, and from like the Creator Academy itself, is having an impactful and informative thumbnail. And now, as everybody knows, the market is mega saturated. There are YouTubers everywhere that all want to be the next big thing. So you got to make sure, if you want to be the next big thing, you're keeping this stuff in line. You are making sure your thumbnails are good, a nice, clear, high quality picture that describes what it is your video is about. So if someone never reads the description, never sees the title, all they see is your thumbnail, they should already know what they're getting into, and they should want to watch it and hopefully want to subscribe. Another big thing that I've learned in following, especially in following people like, if you listen to Brian G. Johnson, Roberto Blake, you've got Nick Nimmin that are always teaching these, how to grow your channel, how to get your content together, how to create schedules and things like that. One big thing is be consistent. So find a day that you want to release, that you're comfortable releasing and having all of your stuff edited. And for me, my trial day has been Sunday. Every Sunday, 8 o'clock Central Time here in Austin is when I release my videos, because in my head, the audience that I was looking for was kind of people chilling out on the weekend, getting ready to go back into the work day, and they just don't want to be bothered anything. They just want to sit back, be entertained, maybe learn a little bit of something on YouTube. That's it. So those are the people that I was aiming for, and because of that, after this year and everything, is you kind of analyze your data too, and you want to see, is that working? And this is what I was talking about earlier about being too close to it, getting some outside perspective. Is what you're doing giving you the results that you thought you were going to get? And if it is, why? And if it's not, why not? Either way, be consistent. If you decide you want to release every Monday and three weeks into it, you look at the data and you're like, I'm not getting any views, I want to change it. Don't change it yet. You got to give it some time. Do your promotions, advertise your stuff, talk to your people, put it out there, promote on social media, and then after you get a few months, get at least 3 to 6 months of data, go from there. But consistency, I have had a few people point out to me when I missed something. There was one episode where I was trying to upload and it was just the internet was failing me and the computer was failing me and YouTube was just laughing in my face. And I'm trying to get everything together. And I think I ended up, the video was supposed to be out at 8 and it came out around 8:15, 8:20. But I had 2 people message me asking if everything was all right because they were sitting there on their phones at their computers ready to watch it, which is kind of cool when you think about it. There is an audience already built up, even if you have a small number. I mean, if you look at Sky Titan Media now, we've got about 400 subscribers. We went from 0 to 400, back and forth on a few numbers throughout the year, and that's not, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that is not a huge channel by any means, but it is big enough to have a following, to have fans, to have people, have an audience that wants to connect with it or that has connected with it, that's there for whatever it is you're putting out. So for their sake even, just stay consistent, give it a shot, read your data. Go back in, A/B test what your thumbnails look like, try different photos and things like that, because thumbnails are a thing that you can change out now. It used to be whatever you put up on YouTube, that was it. It was solidified, and if you wanted to change it, you had to delete your video, lose those views, and start over again. But now, YouTube's gotten a little better, a little bit easier to work with in terms of the creator side, and you can change those up. So you can do A/B testing, like use one that's a picture of your face, use one that's a picture of your cat, see what does better. And you might be surprised. You might be thinking it's the cat. It's not always the cat. It's not always the cat. Most of the time it's the cat though. So with everything that's been happening and looking at my own data and kind of figuring out what I'm doing on my channel, and then of course hitting this lockdown that kind of changes everything that you're doing in the outside world versus now, I think I'm gonna try pivoting a little bit. I'm gonna try a couple of changes. I've had some requests in the past for things that people have seen, like the guitar that I'm using, or like the music gear, or the cooking utensils that I have when I do the cooking videos. I've had people ask me like, oh, how is this? How is this product? How do you like this? I wanted to buy it, but I don't know if I really want it. I haven't seen anybody use it before. I don't know if I want to make that leap. So what I think I'm gonna do is start adding in, I'm gonna start doing product videos on just things that I have here, like just to kind of give you an idea of what I use personally and see if it'll help you. I mean, for example, you want to start getting into better field audio and you want to get more recordings to do, like maybe sampling or something if you're in music or if you're in film or something like that, and you're looking at getting one of the Zoom mics. Well, is this the one for you? Maybe, maybe not. I'll do a review on it, tell you all the ways you can use it, how it's worked for me, and if it's a useful thing. Or you want an inexpensive way to turn all of your regular devices at home into smart devices. You want to control them with your dots, with your Echo Dots. Now, I'm not going to say the name, because if you already have one, you know it's going to set it off and it's going to start talking back to you and say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know that, I can't find that. Review on that. I don't know if I'm going to go the route of doing the whole, what is it called? The affiliate marketing with Amazon and stuff like that. Maybe. I don't know if that's for me, honestly. It might be. I mean, I didn't think YouTube was for me, and yet here I am, 52 consecutive weeks later, still doing it and slowly building an audience, which is pretty cool. So I'm also going to add in, I think I want to try to create a video series of how to start your own business, like the build up for it, like all the things you have to do before you even get that first paperwork signed for your LLC, all the things that you need to take into consideration. Now, my business is music and entertainment, so I focus on music, on video, recording live stuff like that. But I want to do it in such a way that it can apply to any sort of business, any sort of entrepreneur out there who wants to start something on their own. I'm going to try to guide it towards that. So if you got questions on that or you have ideas, feel free, drop them in the comments for me. Let me know what you're looking for, because now's the time, now that I'm kind of making these changes. And of course, I'm always working on music. Always working on music. I got beats going right now for another project that scheduled for summer release. It's tentative. We'll see. Plans got shifted around quite a bit with world issues. Getting another Chords of Eve album going, getting more ideas going in there, working with some amazing people, and so that's always happening. That's always going to be going on. So music's always going to be there at the forefront. All of the vlogs, if you've watched them all, if you haven't, go back and check them out. But all of the vlogs, I think maybe 3 or 4 episodes I didn't do the music for. Everything else, I would write a new song that week, make the background music for it. I would do the editing, do the color correction, all that stuff. And then each week was putting out a new short film, a new movie. Not entirely sure where I was going with that. I kind of lost my train of thought, but that's okay. Thing is, changes are coming. I'm not going to cut out the vlog completely. I'm just going to change the frequency of it a little bit. And I'm actually thinking about changing up the date. I've got, you've probably seen a couple videos that I've had with Murdoch X. He's another fellow YouTuber, cool guy. And he's put a lot of time into analyzing the data as to when you should release a video, when people are more likely to watch something, more likely to engage with it. So listen to the people around you, check those perspectives. I'm thinking I might switch up the days. Sunday's been working, Sunday's been good, but I notice a lot of people are watching it later in the week. We're gonna change up a few things, try a few new things, and continue to grow. That's the plan. Continue to get bigger, expand this until we are where we need to be. And with that in mind, at the end of my long ramble, you wanna hear some music? Let's just kick out the jams. Grab a drink or something, hang out. It's all good.